The mood inside the hall where the stakeholders meeting was held. Residents were told to sing after being informed that their homes will no longer be demolished because the federal government found out that continuing on the alignment they chose, that's the alignment that caused them to demolish Landmark Beach, Good Beach and other resorts, that it would have made them to damage submarine cables. And if they did that, it would have cut off communication. It would have cut off Nigeria from the rest of the world. So the question now is, why are they in a hurry to build this project without an EIA? Because if an environmental impact assessment was done on this project, they would have known that taking this alignment they chose would have caused them to damage these submarine cables. When the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway was announced, many people urged the government to follow the old alignment, that's talking about the Water Corporation Road, so as to save many businesses worth millions of dollars. These beach resorts employ thousands of Nigerians. They pay billions of naira annually in form of taxes to the state government, but the government refused, insisting that they must take the line that they have taken, which caused the demolition of these beach resorts. Beach resorts are built around the beachfront. If they no longer have access to the beach, then their businesses can no longer survive. A majority of the people who patronize them come there because of the beachfront. Now they can no longer have access to the beach. These people will now divert to other areas like Eleko, where they can still access the beach. So it is very disheartening that the government insisted that they must damage businesses and cause serious unemployment to people. Now they have abandoned this path and they are going back to the old alignment. This proves that what people were saying all along, that this is a land grab, is true after all. And according to the Vanguard newspapers, they quoted the Minister of Works, Umahi. He said that the government plans to recover the money they used to build this project by tolling the road and also selling land along the road. So that means they are acquiring land that is more than what they need to build the road. They intend to sell land along the coastal road, especially in Lagos. So this is a land grab. They are no longer hiding it. That's why they are in a hurry to build the project. A government that cannot create employment for the people. The only employment they know how to create is political appointment, where they appoint their associates to positions. But they can never create policies that will spur employment. The people that are employed have lost their jobs. They've been pushed into the unemployment market by demolishing the places where they work. This is abhorrent. Why will Nigerians be treated this way by their fellow brothers? Even during the colonial times, the colonial masters didn't treat Nigerians this way. Why are they abusing their powers? There are many things wrong with this Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. First is that it wasn't budgeted for in this current budget year by the National Assembly. But despite the fact they are going ahead with the project, we're not even talking about the businesses that they have damaged by taking the wrong alignment. The second major issue is that they didn't conduct an environmental impact assessment report on this project. A project this massive. Not only that, many homes would have been demolished if they continued on this path. At the maximum, up to 2,000 homes would have been demolished. Not to talk of ancestral homes of many people. This particular community, they have refused years ago enticement from government to sell their land, to acquire their ancestral homes. Part of the reason the community leaders don't want the government to acquire their land is because of their culture. They want to preserve their heritage of more than 500 years. And now, going by the revelation by the Minister of Works, David Umahi, that the federal government planned to sell land along the coastal highway. That means this project cannot be said to be in the national interest. This is because there's no other place in Nigeria where the federal government built a road that they sold land along the road in order to recover costs. Let's even assume that they want to recover the cost. Why not just toll the road like they do in other places? Or why not expand an existing road like the Lekki-Epe Expressway? They could have expanded the road. There's enough setback along both sides of the road to accommodate an expansion, and even a railway line in the middle. They didn't take this path because there will be no land to be sold along the Lekki-Epe Expressway, despite the fact that expanding the expressway would have cost the government far less the amount of money that is being budgeted for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. If this project was being built based on national interest, that it wasn't a land grab, especially along the Lagos area, what they should have done is to sandfill the beachfront. After all, it has been eroding for many years. When they sandfill it and get the path that they want, they can now build the coastal road and still sell land to people to act as a new beachfront. That's exactly what they should have done. It would have even cost much more money than they budgeted. It would beautify the beachfront instead of some of the shanties along the area. But instead, they wanted to demolish thousands of homes, rendering thousands homeless, rendering thousands jobless in the process, because it was not only homes that were affected, businesses, the beach resorts have been damaged forever. Now, will there be consequences for their actions? Because the government has accepted that they made a mistake by taking the path that they chose, by demolishing beach resorts. And after demolishing these beach resorts, they have now gone back to the original alignment. So, will there be consequences? Absolutely not. They believe they are demigods, they are above the law. Nothing can happen to them. Even if you go to court to seek compensation, what compensation will be adequate in this case is the problem, because they say they paid compensation, but how much can you pay a business that is worth millions of dollars, that invested money in the state since how many years ago? They employ thousands. What kind of compensation are you going to give to the workers who don't have jobs anymore in this hardship, in this suffering that Nigerians are facing? And the worst part is that they still have supporters cheering them on. Every time they do something the opposition criticizes, they will turn around after a few weeks and do the right thing. The supporters will continue supporting despite the fact that they are tumbling. Trial and error. They do something, you criticize, they insist and say, this is the correct thing to do. But at the end of the day, they turn around, their supporters continue to cheer them. How long will they continue to cheer someone that always makes errors? When are they going to realize that what they call patriotism is not actually patriotism? It is servitude and sycophancy. You can't compare that with patriotism. No patriot will allow or tolerate the demolition of thousands of homes, the demolition of businesses that employ thousands of fellow countrymen. That's how patriotism works. And when will the supporters question themselves? They keep supporting someone who is making grave errors. When you make one error, it is tolerable, no one is infallible. But when you make the second one, the third, it has become a way of life. How do you justify your continued support to someone that is making errors in perpetuity? Someone that is so incompetent that he can't follow due process. There's a process for building roads and massive projects in Nigeria. The government made this process, but the government is not following the same process that they made. If they took time to conduct a proper environmental impact assessment, they would have found the correct path to take. They would have seen all the obstacles along the path that they chose. They wouldn't have demolished all these beach resorts. Never. They wouldn't have pushed thousands into the unemployment market. All these were completely avoidable. Why it happened was because of selfish interest and incompetence. Thanks for watching.